once again, bringing you another craft video. As I promised in my last video, I was going to show you a more traditional technique on making a pin cushion. Since I have so many push pins, I need somewhere to put them. And as far as push pins, pin cushions go, this one's extremely easy. The only thing you're going to need for this is to assemble it. It's going to be a needle and thread. It's very basic sewing skills. So you're going to need a piece of fabric. This is a piece of Christmas fabric I had left over, and you're going to need to cut it in a circle. I find it's easier if you cut your material, fold the material over in half, and then cut the half circle. It's easier to get a more circle shape. You're going to need your fiber fill again. Like I said, I have plenty left over, but if you don't have this, you can also use dryer lint. So like a couple of loads worth of dryer lint. If you have a laundry day, this will definitely work in the same exact place. And you're going to need your needle and thread. And to cause the cushion to push out in the edges like the tomato shape of the other ones, you're going to need something to stitch it down, which I'll show you in a minute how to do. I'm using embroidery floss here because I had extra. You could also use regular thread, but since you're going to be pulling it tight, I would recommend using something a little bit more sturdier. So, what the first we're going to do is we have our needle and thread here, and all it is my regular yellow thread. I've knotted it at the end to hold it in place, and you're pretty much going to do a basic line stitch here. Now, I'm not even going to make small gatherings because we're going to need to be able to pull this tight. So I'm going to make big stitches here, if you can see here, big stitches like that. And you can do this really quickly by just doing a simple up and through motion like this, just going through as if you were making an easy gathering. It's the same thing. I'm going to start by going in through the top as avoid the bottom because I want the knot from my thread to be on the inside after I pull everything closed. After your needle starts to get full, you can go ahead and pull your stitches through like so. And we're going to keep doing this, the basic line stitch all the way through. Big stitches here. And we're going to keep gathering them through. See, this is your basic stitch here. My grandmother, my nanny, actually is the one who taught me how to hand sew as a little girl. I was a very hyper little 5-year-old, and for whatever reason, she decided it was a good idea to give someone my age and my size sewing needles and taught me how to sew. So it came in handy at the age, because at that age I had my favorite teddy bear, and we're going to continue to stitch here, and my teddy bear went with me everywhere, so it got worn out very easily, and it needed surgery. It needed teddy bear surgery constantly, and the only way it could have surgery is if I was at my nanny's house and she would fix it for me. So by the time I got around 5 or 6 and she taught me how to do basic stitches and knots and tie-offs and everything, it got to the point where I could do teddy bear first aid at home by myself. So it came in handy, and just learning to sew from her kind of stuck. She was an actual very talented seamstress and tailor. She worked in the sewing factories for years before I was even born, and everything I learned came from her. Bless her soul. Alright, we're getting towards the end here, and we're back to where that knot is, if you can see there. So we're going to pull this through. Alright, and so we got a big gathered little sack here. And we're going to sit this down, and we're going to take our fiber peel. I got a good big hunk of it because I want mine nice and fluffy. And we're going to fit that in there. And then we're going to take our thread and needle, and we're going to start pulling and pulling all of those gatherings in, so everything meets in the middle. See, just like that. Keep pulling, keep pulling. Okay, now I can knot it off here, and it will hold my stitches in place. Now, most of these you'll find to hide the little part here, they take a piece of felt and cut it out into the vine shape of the top of a tomato, and then they hot glue it or stitch it on, and it covers the gathering here. I don't particularly have felt on hand right now, So I'll probably find a way to cover that up later. I might take a big button and hot glue it on the top to cover the gatherings, but for the moment I'm just going to show you how to finish up this. Alright, and we're just going to finish knotting this off to hold my stitches in place. We don't want anything pulling loose. Okay, I got that done. We're going to put this in my thread here. Always keep up with your needles. I had a habit of mislaying them when I was little. Funny family story. Not funny for my grandpa. He actually found one of the needles I had stuck in the cushion on the couch because I had a terrible habit of sticking them in the couch when I wasn't using them. And he sat down and found it the hard way. I'm so sorry for that, Grandpa. Alright, so we have our embroidery floss. Now we're going to create the bulging creases here. So since we have this up here, I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm going to try to aim for the middle, and I'm going to push all the way through. Now to use embroidery floss, especially when it's doubled through like this, you're going to need a needle with a thick, very big eye to fit the thread through. Alright, and then we're going to loop around to another side, and we're going to come through again. We're going to pull this with it. Alright, like that. I'm just going to start pulling the edge there. I learned this trick when, about 6 years ago, my son had an obsession with pumpkins. He was like 3 at the time. It was Halloween season, and we had gotten pumpkins to carve later that month, but he desperately wanted his pumpkin. So I learned to crochet one, and part of the pumpkin making process is that you had to do this to make it like a pumpkin. So we're going to come back around again, back through the bottom here, where our other stitches are. And we're going to bring it back through, and we're going to line up our stitches here on each one. So when we pull, it creates that little crease there. And we're going to go back around here, back through again, and we're going to pull our stitches again. Alright, and we're going to keep this process until we come back around to the front. Alright. Let's realign that one, it's too far. There we go. Pull it through nice and tight. Looks like I got just enough floss. Yeah, sometimes they call it embroidery floss, embroidery thread. I kind of switch back and forth for terminology because, you know, to me it's always been embroidery thread, but some of the ones I buy, they call it embroidery floss, and it's neither here nor there. Okay. So now we got all of our little cushy parts here. It's probably not as pretty as the tomato ones you find, but you know, hey, it works. It serves its purpose, and I can say I made it myself. Alright, I'm going to take this back through the bottom here, aim for the middle as best I can, where the original beginning stitch was, because we're going to knot it there. We're going to want everything about centered as possible. And all of these are going to be on the bottom, so no one's going to be able to see them, but if you find it necessary or more aesthetically pleasing to you to cover it with felt or buttons or just anything that makes you feel comfortable, that's fine. Alright, everything's nice and knotted. I'm going to pin this, I'll put it in my pin cushion I made last video. Alright. Here we go. This is my traditional pin cushion, as you can see. I'm going to cover that later. Doesn't look quite as bad though. And that's just a nice, cushy little cushion. We're going to test it out. Now look at that. Everything sticks. Now this comes in handy when you're sewing. You just need something close at hand that you can just put pins in. I'm notorious for putting pins in my mouth when I'm not using them, and it's easy to swallow one if you're not careful. So, but there you go. This is my second pin cushion video, and this just shows you just how easy it is to make them yourself. And you could put anything on them you like to decorate them, make them look better, glitter them, whatever you prefer. Like I said, I just used extra material I had, but it's really fairly easy. But I have enjoyed being here and showing you this craft video on how to make your own pin cushions. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you try it out for yourself. And I will see you here back again with my next craft video. Until then, you know, stay crafty, make some things for yourself, and most of all, just stay safe and have a good evening. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.